Hello, so we're now live. This is the first time I've done this for Jamie's football chat, but I thought let's give it a go. So apologies for the delay. We had some technical difficulties earlier on, but we're on there now. So let's give it a go. So I've got Jonny Quinton with me today, a big, massive Wolves fan. So over to you, Jonny.
Yeah, been a fan since 1996. Season to goal since about 98. Yeah, so been ups and downs.
Yeah, like I've always loved your dedication to Wolves. You go, season after season, and you've gone to all the big games as well. I think you went to Wembley, did you, last year? The Watford game or year before?
Unfortunately, yeah, yeah, we don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah, it was amazing, obviously, day in terms of going there and whatever, but it's just a result at the end of the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's still just over a year on, still like he's still at the back of your mind a bit. Do you know what I mean?
You would have played City in the final, wouldn't you? The thing would have been.
Yeah, and to be honest, obviously after this season's results, like you wonder what could have been, but at the same time, what did eventually happen was like allowed us to get into the Europa League. So, and that might not have happened if we'd have made the final for whatever reason. So, silver linings and all that, really.
Exactly, and you've got a better squad now. Your players are older, and Traore is obviously a lot better, more end product now than he's had before.
Oh, definitely. I really think it's like helped us like sort of move forward as a team, really, and like develop players who might not have been having much playing time last season, like Traore, and really like giving them the push forward and for the league, which obviously it's not affecting our league form either.
No, because you're really tight at the back as well.
Yeah, I think we've got Saiss back there alongside Cody and Bolly. You'd noticed a real difference. Like I was a big fan of Bennett last season, but he kind of showed a bit of shakiness at the start of this one.
Slow,
say again.
He's a bit slow.
Yeah, I don't know. He really fit the last couple of seasons, but then the start of this really kind of shone him to maybe why Norwich let him go in the first place. So Saiss has really performed well there. So he's earned the shirt now, really.
Good. So have you been coping lockdown?
Yeah, pretty well, man. You'd like, not to paraphrase the Foo Fighters or anything, but like, times like these, and all that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes you realise you're taking things for granted, and you just find like pleasure in the small moments, really.
Yeah.
And like, just get by and make sure you're eating well and sleeping well, and you can't go wrong.
100%. Yeah, and I think that same for me is in terms of I've been doing more walking every day or running and whatever, and finding walks I've not really done before, and it's really good. It just makes you feel good when you've done like a walk on an evening or even
definitely
done it. It's generally for the whole of lockdown. It's been quite nice weather as well, hasn't it? So we've been lucky.
Yeah.
Really. Apart from
last week.
Last week of thunderstorms.
Yeah.
That was terrible. But before that, it's been we've been really lucky, and I think that. I might mix up, do different walks and that, and do hiking as well. It's good for your mental health. So
it really is, yeah.
So that's good. Well, football's back, everyone. So that's pretty brilliant news. And I think now because we've missed it for so long, I think everyone's just watching random games now because they're all obviously on TV. So it's sort of like feast of football at the moment, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. I mean, obviously, even the night where we didn't have any Premier League on this week, the Thursday, there was the League Two playoffs, and obviously that's not a league that gets shown as much as it should on TV. So it was nice to kind of, this like give a different league and a few different matches a shot, really. So yeah, it was nice.
The thing as well is that obviously you had the games in hand that were on Wednesday. I think City and obviously Arsenal. Is it Villa had as well? I think Villa and Sheffield United.
Yeah, Villa and Sheffield United. Yeah,
Sheffield United as well. So today all went. But then obviously we still had a load of controversy. We've only been back a couple of days. We've had VAR decisions. And obviously, one from United game the weekend. We had Hawkeye, which is just that bizarre, like the first ever mistake I think he's ever done ever. And which was just crazy. Against Sheffield United, so over the line, wasn't it? It was mad.
I think the keeper was sat in the net, wasn't it, at one point?
He was. So. Like, how didn't the referee see that? It was like the back onto sort of our games. I'm a Man United fan, and we played Spurs first half. It was quite a tight game, and then then second half, we were all over them. Pogba came on, that changed the game, and I thought the penalty that we did get, obviously, was a great score by Pogba, definite penalty. And right at the end, I thought, we got another penalty. Yeah, I was buzzing. And then all of a sudden, they disallowed it from VAR, which again is probably the right decision really, but he didn't really probably go down with much of a touch. But it's just frustrating when you think you've got it, and then you're like, oh no, I've not got it there. But again, the end of the day, I don't think
it would have been unfair for that second one to be a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the thing is as well is that I'm making sure my phone's off here. Is that the thing is that it's good as well that some decisions go for you, some go against, and at the end of the day, the referee obviously, if I wanted to be in there, would have gave it, but it wasn't a penalty, so I can understand why they didn't give it.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, it's the referee sometimes. I think it's more this season are starting to maybe say to give decisions or not give decisions that they might not have been sure of before, because now they've got that backup. Do you know what I mean? True. They can sort of, they've got like sort of a fail safe really. Yeah. Where if it is wrong, then it will get overturned or vice versa. So they've got that kind of safety net now.
And I think that people obviously, you've had some dodgy decisions, being a Wolves fan as well with VAR. Yeah. And I think the first season will always be a struggle. I think maybe 2 or 3 years they keep making tweaks to it. I think at the end of the day, technology's here to stay, because tennis, NFL, rugby, they all use it, and no one ever bats an eyelid anymore because it's used in the right way, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the only drawback for people this season has been fans in the stadium really. There's always that kind of hesitation if the goal's going to stand, if it looks.
That's true.
If it looks a bit, suspect. Yeah. So, and then the communications, another drawback is, they'll tell you they're checking for whatever, but not what for. Do you know what I mean? So that's been a bit of a teething problem, I think.
It is, isn't it? Because nothing worse when you could wait for 5-10 minutes if it's a really, really sort of close decision, and then you're standing there in the ground, you don't have a clue what's going on, and I think that's what they need to improve. Rather than, remember when I've been to tennis, say Birmingham, before we're watching the women's, and they've got the big screens there, you're seeing if it's going, for a serve or whatever, and you're like, that's perfectly fine because you can actually see what's going on. Rather than the football, they're not replaying that moment back to you, are they? So
no, that's it. And if it's like a lot of ours have been, it's like those minuscule offside decisions.
Been a lot of them offside as well.
Like we had against Leicester a couple of months ago, and Liverpool away, and stuff like that. Then you think, when they mentioned it was clear and obvious errors at the start of the season, you think, well, that doesn't fall under this. So it stings a little.
Yeah, it does. But you always think of you have to try and think, even with referees without technology, they're always going to make a mistake. Remember when Graham Poll did the sent off, was it Simunic and Croatia was giving 3 yellow cards, and to get him sent off, and there will still be that there, but you'd hope that with technology it would stop those things happening, more. But I think at the moment, even without technology, they still made mistakes. So what I mean?
Yeah. I think, like as I say now, they're more willing to take risks on certain decisions, knowing that they can always be changed if needs be. But even then, the problem is that it's still the same refs you get in week out using the technology itself. So at the end of the day, that's it, man. So there's always a chance that one ref's going to see something where the other disagrees, but then at the end of the day, it falls down to the VAR. So
that's right. So what do you think about your game then? Your game was yesterday.
Oh yeah, honestly, a great result. I mean, I think part of the problem with a lot of the games since Wednesday has been, a really slow start for every team while they're trying to feel the pace of the game. But I was really chuffed at how we kicked on second half, and we looked fit, and it looked like we'd never been away really, and that was really pleasing to see, especially with our season being so long. So
long as well. Yeah. Then the break's done you guys good.
Yeah, in a way, I think it's kind of refreshed everyone a little. We were in a good run of form when lockdown started, so that was a bit good. We'd won a few games and before the draw to Brighton. So it was. But it was really good to kick back into form by the look of things.
I thing is as well is that you guys are on fire, and we're now unbeaten in 12, and it's just proper close at the top. And
really is, yeah.
But when it's close, you started the game at West Ham, and he attempted the game, and scored a great goal with it. Was it Neto? Was it a header? Brilliant goal, wasn't
it? No, Jimenez was the first one for the header, and then Neto was the volley.
Was it? Sorry.
Yeah.
And then what was the second one?
The Neto volley was the second, and then Jimenez header. Yeah. It was obviously Traore and Jimenez as a partnership this season have been unreal. I think that was their 9th combination in all competitions this season. So yeah, they're really working on a level at the minute. And then it was really good to see Neto put one away because he's had so much bad luck with VAR, and you can see what a talent he is, and that just showed it yesterday, to be honest.
I think he had that bad luck against Scousers, didn't he? And obviously, the thing is that the weekend, obviously, I watched the Man United Spurs game. I didn't watch your game. I saw it just on the phone and looking through, and I was like, "Oh, Touré's coming on. He's going to win now because he's that good." So obviously, you've got a really, really important win. At West Ham, I think your record down in London has just been incredible, isn't it? I think.
I think since we got promoted a couple of seasons ago, we haven't lost in London in 10 games.
10 games now, is it?
Yeah, we've beat West Ham each 4 of those, so it was good to keep that going.
That's really good. And the thing is that it's obviously going to be interesting because you've got the game's going to go now until sort of like mid-July-ish, and then I'll be right at the end. You've got the FA Cup. Obviously, those guys are still in. And then you got the Europa League that Man United obviously Wolves are in, and obviously Champions League in August. So you've got 2 or 3 months of just pure football, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's like it kind of gives us a bit of like a head start before we get into the Europa League. I think the annoying thing was we've still got that second leg against Olympiacos to come. So you've sort of that game's been paused for so long now that could go either way. We got an away goal back in March, but who knows when it comes round to it, so we'll see.
The interesting thing with that, I'm not sure even what's happened with the Greek league, because obviously I'm not sure even if they've been playing games. I don't think so.
No.
And if they haven't, then they've got to come into it really, not match fit, are they?
Yeah, and that could obviously benefit us, and I think I'm not sure how the big kind of tournament idea will play out, and then they're obviously planning to only cut to 1 leg each. That could, because then that could go either way, really. But we'll try and get the league form as good as possible, and then see where we are come Europa, really.
Exactly, because the Europa, the league, the way it's going is just so tight with the clubs at the top, and at the moment, teams like Sheffield United have sort of dropped points the last 2 games, so obviously sort of make it really, really wide open. And Chelsea obviously got an important win today and against Villa, but it's going to be right nip and tuck right to the end, really.
I think so. I think our problem has certainly been too many draws, and if we could have turned some of those draws into wins, we'd be where Chelsea are now. So that's been frustrating, but it's unfortunate for Sheffield United, but they would probably bus into even be there to begin with, if some of the ones did. Yeah, so, but I think the more games go, the more you also see teams start to pick up form who were already in form, and I think Sheffield United will still be a tough opponent, and we've still got to go away to them. So, and obviously, I think you've got them Wednesday, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we have on Wednesday. Yeah, it's big games. If we get 3 points back on that, then I'll be happy being to be dropped 2 against Spurs. I thought second half we played really well, and could have easily won with that one Martial chance, and Lloris saved it top.
Yeah, Lloris had a great game, to be fair, especially the save off Martial. Yeah,
it's brilliant save that was. I think they were saying obviously De Gea did one as well, but a good save. Obviously, it cocked up a bit for the goal, but that Lloris save was superb.
Yeah, unreal. Especially because obviously it's his first game back from injury as well. And yeah. So he's always been a top class keeper. So I bet the buzzing to have him back.
Oh, definitely. So now it's good catch up. So let's go on to the first bit of the topic here. So we're going to go for your top 3 goals you've seen live.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm interested to hear what they are.
So this is a tough one because I've been going since '96. You've seen a lot of goals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, it was tough not to just pick 3 Ruben Neves goals. You know what I mean?
True, actually, yeah.
you know. So, but no, I've got one of his in there, but I figure I'd spread them across the years really. I won't really give them an order because they all kind of mean something at the
their own
time.
way.
Yeah. But I'd probably put one of his towards the top anyway. Probably not one that anyone really expect, but I'd put his free kick away at Cardiff in the Championship winning season up there. Sort of for personal reasons as well as what it meant to the team at the time.
Yeah.
But that was the first away game I'd been to for about 10 years.
Wow.
And I went by myself, just took the chance, and then obviously it was a first v second at the time. About 5 minutes before he put that in, he'd shanked one over the bar, and then we won a free kick in the exact same position. And then it went near corner. So, and then obviously all the madness that happened at the end of that game with the 2 missed penalties. Yeah. So, and then I think it took us, if I remember, either 8 or 9 points clear with about 4 or 5 games left. Yeah. So the impact, as you look back, that goal had
massive. That's what I mean.
Huge.
The goals. Sometimes goals have got, obviously got to be great as well, but then it's what adds to that as well.
It's the circumstances, definitely. Yeah. I mean, the Derby goal, then obviously everyone talks about, was the week after that, a few days after, and that was obviously an unbelievable finish. But for what that meant at the time and the kind of pressure it took off our shoulders, it was a huge goal, really, and one that still sticks with me now.
Oh, brilliant! Well, I remember. You might even pick him, I don't know, but I remember Wolves had a good player back in the day. He used to play for Newcastle, Ket Spire, and he used to score some right bangers.
Honestly, like, you never see a man hit a ball that hard as he did at times. And he didn't play for us as much. I think he was coming towards the end of his career in England when he came to us. Yeah, but I think the free kick he scored in his debut for us against Sheffield Wednesday on the first day of the season was an absolute hit. Yeah, so he's definitely a similar kind of an absolute powerhouse. Yeah.
That's good. I'm liking that first pick.
The second one, actually, you could probably compare it to Ketsbar in a way, is a Bakary Sakho strike. Back when we were in League One, we had Sheffield United at home. I want to say it was towards the end of the year. It's not a goal you would have kind of seen a lot advertised everywhere, but we had Sheffield United at home. I think we'd gone 1-0 up, second half. We won a corner. The ball comes back out to the edge of the area. Kevin McDonald squares it across the Sakho edge of the area, just smacks it first time left-footed. I remember actually at the time I ducked because because he was as quality a left foot he had. He definitely had the tendency to like
hit it over.
That's it. So, but it just flew in the top corner, and like I've never seen a ball more pure than that. So I thought I'd fit that in the top.
But the scenes are incredible then when everyone's going mad.
Yeah, honestly, it was one of those goals where there's not so much like great limbs or anything, but you just kind of just shock and awe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's definitely one of my faves as well.
But look at the times now, and obviously at the moment they're playing all these matches without, which I didn't explain, without fans in the grounds. And obviously the thing is at the moment, when I was watching the Man United Tottenham game and started it without sound, and it's awful. Like, it's so like watching a training ground match, like watching them around the park. But then as soon as you put that sort of what Sky and BT have done with the sound on it, like fake crowd sound, it makes it a hell of a lot better. Like you're watching like a normal game. It's brilliant.
I've got to say, I started off the first few games without it, just because I don't know. I just kind of wanted the game, if that makes sense. Like the crowd noise didn't make a huge amount of difference to me. But some of the games I've watched since have sort of the channels automatically put it on without.
That's what they do now.
But actually, I think the BBC did last night. But then I don't mind either way. To be honest, it's nice to have it in the background, but it's not a massive thing to me. Obviously, you'd rather see it like with crowds, but 100%. It's a needs must at the minute, So
we don't know when it's going to be back, do we? So at the moment, it just means we can still watch football, which is the main
thing. Getting by, definitely.
Yeah. So that's two good choices there. So what's your last choice?
Third one is the one that goes back even further. I want to say it's about 98, 99.
Oh wow,
Robbie Keane.
Oh, Robbie Keane.
In a League Cup fixture. Back when the League Cup was, I want to say it was the Worthington Cup.
Yeah,
Like,
used to be
it's
called
had
the
that many
Worthington back in the
sponsors
day.
now that, yeah,
I think
who
Leicester
knows?
may have won it then or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
But it was back when it was two legs as well for the first few rounds. So it's tell how far back we're going here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had Barnet in a second round. We'd actually lost to them 2-1 in the first leg, if I remember. And they came back to ours and we beat them 5-0. But I remember Robbie Keane was obviously what a talent for us he was, you know. And
he's amazing. Even so young, he was deadly.
One of those players from his debut, you think he's going to the higher leagues, you know, and he's going to make it with.
He played for Inter Milan, you know. So
he did, and obviously he went to Liverpool, but didn't really work out there. But he's just one of those players you could always tell had it, you know.
He always score in the box, deadly.
He'd try stuff. He'd try things in the Championship that you think, you know, shouldn't
so quick as well, like natural finisher and so quick.
He really was. You know, he's such an intelligent player and so skillful. Which kind of leads me to that. In the goal, I remember he sort of was one-on-one with the keeper on the edge of the 6 yards, but and then a couple of defenders got back in front of him. I remember just flicking it up as not so much a chip, but more of like a standing like lob, if that makes sense. And
like Cantona-esque.
In a way, yeah, I'd probably compare it to that. But it just like I'd never seen anyone have even have the balls to try anything like that. You know, I mean, it helped we were kind of about, I think we're three or four up at the time, but it was just it was like kind of an example of what a player he was at the time, and I love that like absolute nonchalance of a player trying like that. You know, maybe Berbatov-esque a bit. You know what I mean? And, that's so that it's going back a few years, but one that I always think about the skill.
That's great. Well, the thing is with like Robbie Keane is that he surely after that goal did he do his normal celebration with a gambol, did he? And that
I'm trying to probably not at the time because it's a first
3 or 4 up.
Yeah, 3 or 4 up, and I think it was a League Cup first round fixture against a team 2 divisions below. You know what I mean? So I don't think he was pulling out the crazy ones, but no, it was a finish that I still think about like 20, 21 years on now.
That's crazy. That's really good. But the thing is with him as well is that because he started from early age at Wolves and played, you know, so well for you guys, and then obviously he moved on to Coventry, Inter Milan, you know, some other teams or big teams as well, and there's never been any ill feeling after because he comes back and the Wolves fans still appreciate him for what he's done. And even when he was at Villa, he didn't get any boos or nothing. And I think when he scored maybe once or twice against you, he didn't celebrate and all that. And that's nice respect, that is really, isn't it?
It is. I mean, you know, after that winner he scored for them, that beat us 3-2, and it kind of like on our relegation season. I don't think that went down too well, but
he didn't celebrate. I don't think, did he?
He what? Sorry, I don't think he did. But
he stood there.
He's always spoke well of his time at Wolves, and he's one of the probably most naturally gifted players I've ever seen play for us. So he's remembered quite fondly. Yeah.
Brilliant. So now 3 great choices there. Cheers, Jonny. So the next one will be your top 3 Wolves players in your lifetime. Probably going to be 3 of the current team.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. But now, once again, I've tried to spread them out as much as I can.
Yeah.
So I'll start with the earliest chronologically, and that'd always be like Steve Ball. You know, you can't. Legend, you can't live in Wolverhampton and not know about the influence of Steve Ball on Wolves and the city as a whole. But like, unfortunately, when I started watching football, he wasn't necessarily towards the end of his career in 96, 97, because he still had a couple of quality seasons after that. But I didn't see him at like his absolute best. So
which is like early 90s, that wasn't it, when he was playing for England?
Yeah, late 80s, early 90s, I think, when the club was coming back up through divisions, you know, and trying to rebuild after and trying to rebuild after the financial issues of the 80s. So but no, you could still see what an absolute predator he was, you know, and it was a true shame I don't think we ever got to see him in the top flight. especially obviously with us. But privileged to say I saw his last goal for us live. And
did you know where?
Yeah, I think Bradford at home. Last
good.
minute, yeah, just a scruffy header, but that was him. He could score all sorts of goals. He was such a natural finisher that
Wolves legend.
He would have fitted in the top league if he'd have had the chance. Yeah,
I think the thing is with that as well, because back nowadays you don't really get many of the sort of more known England teams.
Oh, Jack, you froze.
I just went off a bit then.
Oh. Yeah,
Sort
you're
of
back
a
now,
no one
mate. You're
else.
sorted now.
Say again, sorry.
No, you're back now. You're fine. You're good.
That's all right. And the thing was as well was that like back then, you might have missed that, is that they'd only always pick sort of the top 4 players and whatever, rather than before that, when obviously Steve Ball's in England team. In a way, it's such a massive thing that they actually did pick him because he wasn't in the sort of the old Division 1. So that's a really, really big achievement. Really, he did get an England team because he was that good, and obviously because of respecting from a lower.
If I remember,
team,
mate, I think he was even lower. I think he was in, if I remember, League 1 or 2. What is now League 1 or 2. So yeah, shows no one's had that since. So it shows what a compliment to a striker he was, really.
100%. Yeah, that's awesome. So that's good. So who are you next to?
So second, actually, a player I mentioned earlier, but was probably Bakary Sakho. We signed him in the year we went down from the Championship to League 1. And obviously he stayed with us League 1 and then the season after. But he was an absolute maverick. He was just a player that could do anything on his day and would absolutely terrorise anyone he came up against. And the kind of the end of the season after in the Championship, when it was him, Nuadiko and Benica Fobe, was
one of the most. Three was brilliant, wasn't it, for you guys?
Unreal, times, and it only lasted a few matches, which is such a shame. But yeah, on his day he could do anything. But then, unfortunately, on his day he could do anything. So he was a player that at times was a little bit of a luxury, but when he could turn it on, he could really turn it on. And he was
he's still, I think, at Crystal Palace, but his sort of career went a bit down the pan, didn't it? After a while, I think.
He went to Palace, and I think he suffered pretty bad injuries there.
And I think it's not been been the same, because I think he was playing for his national team as well at one point.
He had a few caps with Mali, if I remember correctly.
That's it.
But then, unfortunately, he wanted to play in the Premier League, understandably. But he suffered a few injuries at Palace, and
otherwise, if he'd waited at your club, he would have gone up anyway.
Well, after a few seasons, though, he'd have to wait a 3 or 4. But you know what? He's a player I'd love to see in this team in a way. Him at his peak. I think to have him Adama on one side and him on the other would be an absolute nightmare for defences. But he was just a player that you could expect the unexpected from, and really helped us get back into the Championship after that relegation.
Kenny Jackett was manager then, wasn't
he? Yeah, and he brought out the best in him, really. And him and Nuadiko, the second half of that League 1 season were unplayable. And he could finish. As I mentioned earlier, he had an unreal left foot on him. So he was a great and exciting player to watch.
Oh, brilliant. So quality, Jonny. So who's the last choice you've got then?
Yeah, so the third one is player from the modern day, and you've probably already got it in pre-mind, but I'm probably surprised is I've always grown up as playing in defence. For my third pick, I'll pick Willy Boly.
Oh, Willy Boly.
Yeah, to be honest, he's the best defender I've ever seen play for us.
Honestly, better than Lescott. He was a legend for you, wasn't he?
Lescott was a player I thought about putting in as well. He was much like Robbie Keane, so natural and looked like he just slotted in straight away. But Willy Boly had the kind of the best of him and someone like Dean Richards. He had just that calm instinct and not just a quality and intelligent defender, but exactly quality on the ball. And
but with Lescott, wasn't he, that he could show he was that good? He he ended up winning, Premier League with Man City and that, and great defender, and you've obviously
started for England in national tournaments,
Exactly, yeah, he did, and obviously you got Willy Bolly, and I think I saw on your Twitter today, I think I may have done that. He may be signing a new big deal, I think, isn't he?
Yes, absolutely huge news. I think.
I bet you're buzzing, aren't you?
Honestly, he's just that kind of player that you can rely on week after week, especially in an important position like that, and he knows the system in and out. So it's important.
I think you missed him when he wasn't playing. From what I could
really did. I think it was just before Christmas, if I remember. I mean, fair play to Saiz, he really stepped up and filled in, so we didn't miss him too much. But then he's the kind of player, once he does come back in, you think, oh no, actually we missed him more than you first thought. So yeah, he's absolutely huge, and chips in with a few important goals as well, obviously. So yeah, we'll always love watching him as someone who's played in defence themselves.
That's good. No, Connie, so three brilliant choices there. Again, I'm not sure many Wolves fans can argue some of those decisions, really. But obviously, if people want to view their own, then you can tweet my Jamies_FC Twitter account, and Jonny can reply back to you.
Don't get me wrong; it was tough not to fit in the likes of your João Moutinho's and your Neves's and Jotas, but no, just for someone like who you really notice when he's out of the team, I thought I'd throw him.
Yeah, no, I don't blame him. Also, like, you go, obviously not for player, but one of your cult heroes in your lifetime would be George Yalakovic, wouldn't he?
Oh God, yeah. I mean, he was never the most technically gifted player, but you've never if you really want to measure passion for the shirt, and like an absolute want of playing and love playing. I think with him starting in non-league and him getting up to the Premier League, you could see how much he loved it and loved playing for us.
Story for him.
He was sort of forgiven that he wasn't the best left-footed player, left back we've ever had, but he was much loved.
I remember him scoring a goal against Manchester United before at Molineux.
Yeah, was it the season you'd started unbeaten? It was about January, February, and then we won that 2-1. Yeah, that was.
It might have been 26 games, I think.
Yeah, I definitely. I think it was you'd gone unbeaten the first half of that season, and then you took the lead, and then him and Kevin Doyle scored.
Yeah, he played really good football that season, and obviously, like with him at the back as well, he did well. It's like we got Agallo up front, and obviously really, he obviously did well at Watford and doing well for his national team, and now we got him on loan. He needs another forward. He's different to Martial and Rashford and Greenwood, because he can hold the ball up really well. Yeah, he's a bit more like an old-fashioned centre forward. Definitely. And every time he's played, he's just so much passion for the shirt and wanting to play well, and it's just a joy to watch. Really, he's just got a massive smile on his face, and now he's extended his contract for next year. It's brilliant news, really.
Yeah, I think he's chipped in with a few goals in the Europa League as well, hasn't he? If I remember.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, some belters as well.
Yeah, like I remember he was. Sorry, mate, go on.
Fia Igala. Because I've got a really weird feeling that we'll end up playing Wolves in Europa League final.
Honestly, with the amount of times we've played each other over the past 2 or 3 years, I really wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
Imagine that, though.
It'd be like, I think the thing is, it would just be destined, or like, and on its day when it's just a one game, who knows,
Exactly. Well, I think Solskjaer said, didn't he, when he played you this season again? He said something that we'll probably meet each other in Europa League.
Yeah, definitely. It really wouldn't surprise me the further we each get.
Yeah. No, brilliant, Jonny. So, three great choices there again. So the final one, I'm interested for these picks, is your top 3 England players in your lifetime.
This was tough, to be honest, because I've definitely been more of a club than a country person. I won't lie to you. So I just thought of players who've always enjoyed playing, not just for country, but have always been consistent throughout their career.
But have you also as well? You've always been more club than country, but I think that because of us growing up and we've had the big eras of the golden generation, obviously it's not done so well.
Yeah.
Is that obviously then I think the last few years it's got more fans back in since probably
definitely
since 2018 that. I think that because we're picking players not more from just the top team spread around the Premier League, and they're all looking together with Southgate, it's got more fans that have maybe more club in the past to start liking getting behind England again, which I think it's stopping all the club rivalries, which happened too much before. So I think that going forward, I was really buzzing for the Euro 2020 because I think we had a great chance of doing well, to be honest.
I think we did, and I think you're totally right in that 2018. I think 2018 really, healed a lot of the wounds from the Iceland loss a couple of years before, and I think with not being successful during the likes of like Hodgson eras, and then so many changes in managers because of the Allardyce situation as well. I think a lot of people lost a lot of love for the national team. But then, say again.
They lost faith in it as well, didn't they? In all the process.
Definitely,
I think that players, like sort of playing overpaid and all that other stuff. And I think that it's just a joy to obviously, saw them at the Euro '96, and obviously, we did amazing then. But to get to the semi-final of the World Cup, and obviously, the way it went, if Kane maybe would have been a bit more fitter at the end because I think his injuries he probably had. We may have even got to the final, and who knows? So,
definitely.
Amazingly that tournament, and some of the moments like penalty shootouts will live with me forever. Amazing moments.
Yeah, it's like I think. Summer 2018 was such like a fond memory, and
it was so warm weather. The weather was beautiful, like we've had obviously recently. Weather was great, football everywhere, everyone in good spirits. It was, I think, because obviously last year wasn't as good weather, but 2018 was incredible. We had Wimbledon as well, and that, and it's brilliant.
I really think, as I said earlier, I think it really healed a lot of the wounds a lot of England fans would have probably had with the team. And as you said earlier, picking players based more on form than their club specifically. So I think that was what
united the whole nation and the players as well.
Definitely.
Stuff, and I think that the way that it's happening now is before you probably get some fans, I won't watch this game in the qualifying or even the friendly. But I think now you're getting more fans that are watching their every game, which I think is what it should be. It's England, isn't it? And you get other countries that are really, really passionate and that. And look at Portugal; they've had the rebuilding process of older players, going Figo and whatnot, and Rui Costa. Now they've got their younger team now, obviously with Ronaldo the spearhead of it. They've been brilliant, haven't they? So our team's really young now. We've got all the older ones gone. I think we're going to see improving over the years, really.
I think we've got a lot to look forward to, as you say, with some players you still feel can reach their peak, and your Rashfords and your Sterlings.
He's only 22, and look at the stuff he's now off the pitch. He's so mature, and this season he scored the most for us so far as well, and he's just looking great. And you've got people like Sancho in that as well, and
definitely.
I'm excited to watch us improve, really. And
I think we'd have had a good shot this summer. Yeah, definitely.
So no, that's good, Johnny. So who are your three picks?
So the first, I'll sort of go chronological order again. But the first one I've gone with is Sol Campbell. Actually,
he's amazing for England.
Going back to always kind of rating defenders. I sort of remember him around World Cup '98. Was the first proper World Cup I ever saw.
2002.
Yeah. And he was an absolute colossus. And I think, if I remember, that was around the time he moved to Arsenal on the free. And then he eventually obviously became part of the Invincibles. And I always loved him as a defender. I see a bit of Willy Bolly in him, for example. I think.
Willy Bolly, don't you?
Yeah. So I think, to be honest, he was just like such a quality centre-back and a bit of ahead of his time, I think, really, And
he was. Him and Rio Ferdinand at the back. Amazing.
Superb.
Partnership.
Yeah,
I think they got in a team of 2002 World Cup. They did like the FIFA best team, but never the tournament. He actually got in him and Ferdinand got in the best X-side for the whole tournament. So it shows you how good those two were in that tournament.
Yeah, so
we went out of it from that Ronaldinho goal.
Oh, I know.
Phil Hall did that.
I always think about the World Cup '98 goal where he had the goal disallowed against Argentina, and so I think Shearer fouled the keeper, but going back, I always thought he was a quality centre back, and he always looked so unflustered, so he had to be first, really.
That's really good. Yeah, great shout, Johnny.
Second is probably a lot more obvious, but I'd definitely throw David Beckham in there as well.
You've got the passion the guy had for England was
I think, as well. To be honest, unfortunately, if I remember, I don't remember ever playing him for Wolves, against him. The season we got promoted was the season you sold him, if I remember. So that's when Ronaldo got brought in. But I always loved the kind of comeback he had from the sending off against Argentina to obviously he got absolutely loads of abuse the season after, but then going on to win a treble, and then 4 years later scoring the penalty against Argentina. I always rated that kind
so much to him.
Definitely. I always kind of rated that mental toughness that he had to do that and come back and be captain, and I always rated he turned his career around like that, and he was such a quality player, obviously. Anyway, I've never seen
only the best players
can
do that. And again, me being a bit biased is that only the best players can do that. But again, he was playing for one of the greatest managers of all time, Alex Ferguson, and he was really good, and he managed him really well to get him strong again, his mental side, and obviously Fergie did that as well for Ronaldo after all the 2006 World Cup stuff. So he then had his best season after that as well. So it's quite weird how those both two moments there, seasons after those two moments, both those players had unbelievable seasons from Fergie mentoring them.
Definitely see the man management side of the game there, and
100%.
But as I say, with the mental toughness to bring himself up from such a low period like that, I always rated him for that. And then obviously a few years later, he had the Greece free kick.
Moment, wow.
Yeah. So I thought that brought the nation back a lot, really.
Unbelievable scenes. I remember watching that. Great.
Yeah. And then third, I picked Steven Gerrard. I always loved watching players in midfielder anyway, but I thought for England he always offered us something a little bit different to what we always had. I don't think since Gascoigne we'd had someone who really drove forward from midfield, So I remember his goal. I think it took us 2-1 up against Germany in the 5-1. So I always really loved him. It was always such a shame that I don't think we could ever work out the Gerrard Lampard, conundrum. Yeah, so
Scholes kept getting chucked out on the left, and obviously what a great player he was.
I would have probably picked Scholes, but if not for how he was treated by England, in the fact that he's never really allowed to play his best position.
I've ever seen. You hear all the the greatest players in our lifetime, Xavi, Iniesta, Zidane, and rave over him. If they're doing that, he's good. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think he's one of the best players I've ever seen in person against us.
Controls the ball so well.
Yeah, and such a natural midfielder in both scoring goals, but creating as well. And that partnership of Scholes and Keane. That partnership of Scholes and Keane was phenomenal. But unfortunately, with the wasted chances he got for England, I couldn't pick him really.
No, I don't blame him. The thing as well is that obviously, Gerrard had some big moments for England. Obviously, he's captain as well at certain times, and like you said, that 5-1 game. I remember watching that, and what obviously wasn't in a tournament, but it was still what a memory that was for.
Yeah,
it was great.
Yeah,
it was qualifying tournament.
Yeah, it was a qualifier, but it essentially got us through that season. I thought he's really consistent for England, and it was just a shame he was in such a good team. We couldn't make more of that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's because I think I've even Crouchy and Joe Cole and a couple of others a couple of months ago, and they were saying that that era, with Sven, they were just very, very rigid in all the formations, even Capello and all that. And they didn't ever move them. Rather, you look at it now, City have obviously had De Bruyne and David Silva, and you accommodate these players, but you can just make them float and move about. And it's a shame now because formations have changed since Barcelona did all their stuff. Spain with Tic Tac, it's totally changed it all. So obviously,
definitely,
if that era with Gerrard, Lampard, and Scholes would have happened later on now, we'd have had a better team. I think they'd accommodate them all differently rather than the saying, right, Scholes, you're on the left, that's it, you're not moving. That's how it shouldn't have gone. They should have all moved and interlinked. But at the time as well, it didn't help as well. Because we had the club rivalries that were massive, and that's what created all the big divides, didn't it? Yeah,
and I think part of the problem was we had such two good forwards in Owen and Rooney up front together.
Yeah, unbelievable.
There was always an attempt to try and cram everyone into a 4-4-2.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? But as you say now, Rooney was such a good player at his peak that you could have probably brought him back a bit more and gone for like a number 10, you know. And yeah, it was just a shame that it wasn't fluid enough at the time to get that to work, really, because man to man, we had such quality players in that generation that it was a wasted opportunity. We didn't win anything.
It was, and also as well, I think, I know we say it, England fans of the nations probably laugh at us, but some instances we got robbed by refereeing decisions and we were unlucky. And I think other times, like say that one big moment for me, I know it wasn't the World Cup, but the Euros, that 2004, no, May night fan, but Bayern Munich's performance the whole of that tournament was absolutely unbelievable. And I think that, you know, I watched one of his goals, I think today, in it, I think popped up on my Twitter feed, and I think that if you want to have that injury against Portugal, I think we probably would have won that tournament because he's literally that good. It's like we had, it's like like having Ronaldo in Brazil because he's quality for their national team in, our team for England, because he just sort of dragged us through games and scored amazing goals. He's unplayable, but it's a shame because I think from that tournament, and I think he got injured for United as well. He had 2 or 3 metatarsal injuries, and that was
I was going to say it wasn't 2004 the summer that he broke his. He broke his toe,
and then
so
he did it. So he did it in 2004, and then obviously he did it again against Chelsea. Cavalier. Yeah.
So I think that really held him back of how good he was at the time, especially.
Yeah, and then he changed his game then to be more of a number 9, and he scored all these goals for United England, and he's definitely less explosive, but still amazing player, but changed it a bit then, didn't he? Because when he first
you could see it affected his game slightly, definitely,
Yeah. No, that's really good. I'm looking at my battery here. I should have plugged it in, but
mate, I'm not long for my battery's not long for this world. I don't think either.
Yeah, I think I'm the same. I'm just conscious, don't want to lose anything. So now that's really good. Some really good choices there. We've gone through the weekends, some of the football games. You've got your top 3 goals you've seen live. Top 3 Wolves players in your lifetime, and top 3 England players, which really good choices. So again, if anyone wants to comment on their choices, or choices that they say that Jonny could have changed or put in, or to say that they were really good, then just tweet my Twitter account, and we've had a bit of a chat on there. But now I thought they're all really good choices. You picked Jonny there, so thanks for coming on Jamie's Football Chat.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for inviting me.
No worries. Really enjoyed that. It's gone really quick. I think we've been on nearly 50 minutes. So it's gone really quick, that has.
Yeah. No.
So, cheers, Jonny, again. And obviously, because I haven't obviously met you in person, but usually when someone comes on the show, I usually give them a sticker. So I'll have to get your address details and send you a sticker.
Send me through, feel free.
Put it on your wall.
I will do, mate.
Now, it's been great having you on, Jonny, top man. And I'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, all the best, mate. Take care. See you later, mate.
Take care, Jonny. Bye.